Yo, what's going on, guys? Let's do our overnight betting preview for Saturday, January the 28th. We got a big 11 game schedule tomorrow. I got a few leans, but let's take a look at each one of these games and break them down and see what we can expect tomorrow. First game of the schedule, Denver at Philly, a very nice matchup between two of the top teams in the NBA. Philly is currently favored by 4. I had Philly favored by 3.5. Line is rather accurate, but we do have a lot of information that we need to look at from the injury front. We see Denver has quite a few important players listed as questionable. Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are the most noteworthy of those players. Also, Bruce Brown, he's also a very important rotation player. Nikola Jokic is listed as probable, which means he will be in the lineup tomorrow. For Philly, they have Joel Embiid listed as questionable with his foot injury. He did play in the team's previous game, a short 4-point win against the Brooklyn Nets in their last outing. Embiid, guys, I bet he is pissed. Why is he pissed? This is going to be the first year in a few years now that he's not going to be starting in the All-Star game. I'm sure he's feeling very left out, very neglected. He was also a front runner for the MVP award last season. Ended up going to Jokic. I'm sure he's going to want to show him up tomorrow. I doubt he's going to be missing this game. He loves matchups like this. This should be a very, very intriguing matchup. As of now, guys, the line is pretty accurate. We do have to see what the status, mostly of the players of the Nuggets, what that's going to look like tomorrow. And we're going to take another look at what the line is going to look like. Of course, Philly is the favorite in this game. If those players play, I expect this line to drop. We might see a -2 for Philly by game time. We'll take a look at this more tomorrow. No leans yet on this game. Next game, New York at Brooklyn. New York has started uptrending again. They have a couple of straight wins, some good wins against very good competition. They got a nice W against the Cavs in Madison Square Garden, and then they followed that up with a really, really nice win at Boston Garden against the Celtics. 2 straight for the Knicks. The Nets, the first game back from a road trip, they had a lot of problems against the Detroit Pistons. Ended up losing that game to the woeful Detroit Pistons. They also picked up a couple of injuries in that game. TJ Warren is listed as doubtful. Ben Simmons left that game with an injury. He didn't return. He's listed as questionable for tomorrow. Seth Curry missed the game against Detroit. He's not on the injury report. He will most likely be back. Brooklyn is a 1.5 point favorite. I had Brooklyn favored by 3. We have to see mostly what Ben Simmons' status is going to be for tomorrow. The Knicks guys obviously have a good opportunity to extend their streak to 3. Even though Brooklyn is the favorite in this game, I think the Knicks are the side in this game as of now. It's not one of my early leans, but I do think the Knicks have a good chance at getting the W tomorrow in the battle of New York. Next game, Chicago at Orlando. Chicago, a 2.5 point favorite. I had Chicago favored by 2, another accurate line. Orlando's going to be on the second night of a back-to-back. They just lost tonight to the Miami Heat. They were very competitive. They only lost that game by 5. Chicago, guys, is on a bit of a losing streak. They lost in their last game to the Charlotte Hornets. Not playing well, obviously. A short line here. We know the Magic is a strong home team. They are 2.5 point dogs. Orlando, I think, could be the right side in this game. We'll take a look at the sport tomorrow. This is not one of my early leans because the line is accurate. Next game, Houston at Detroit. Couple of cellar dwellers here. Houston is a 5.5 point dog. I had Detroit favored by 4 in this game. They are favored by 5.5. This is one of my leans, guys. This is a very, very inflated line. I think a lot of people will look at this game and say, a couple of bad teams, just take the points. Very logical, but we know Houston, guys, is, in my opinion, the worst by far team in the league. In their last game, they got blown out by the Cavs at home. easily. Eric Gordon was missing in that game. He's not on the injury report. He will most likely be back. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green are expected to miss. Detroit, only Corey Joseph seems to be the player that's going to be missing from the team. A fresh injury. Everyone else should be in the lineup. The Pistons are going to be one of my three leans tomorrow with the 5.5 points. Next game, Clippers at Atlanta. This game is at a pick'em right now. I had the Clippers favored by 2. Clippers guys have been uptrending big. The Hawks also got a really nice win in Oklahoma City in their last game. They look like they started to pick it up again. This line, in my opinion, guys, is very short. The Clippers, I do believe, have been playing the better basketball lately, which is kind of strange for me to see this line at a pick'em. I did expect the Clippers to be favored in this game. This is going to be my second lean of the night. As much as I hate betting against the Clippers, I might be going with the Hawks in this game. This is going to be my second lean of tomorrow night's action. Next game, Sacramento, Minnesota. Sacramento, their first game on a road trip, they had a huge homestand. I think it was 7 games if I'm not mistaken. They got blown out in that last game to the Toronto Raptors in their last game. The first game now on the road. They're going to be catching Minnesota on the second night of back-to-back. Minnesota just got a really nice win against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies who were playing without Desmond Payne. Timberwolves did capitalize though, got an easy win. They led from pretty much start to finish in that game. I had Sacramento favored by 2. They are favored by 3. This is kind of a strange game. I don't know if we haven't got in any. We haven't seen the Kings yet on the road. How they can perform. They are definitely the favorite in this game, but I wouldn't rule out a Minnesota win. They are young. I don't think the second night of back-to-back will really bother them. They have no travel. They're going to be playing in the same arena. Next game, Phoenix at San Antonio. Phoenix favored by 6. I also had Phoenix favored by 6. Accurate line. We know the Suns are the superior team here. The Spurs got blown out in their last game to the Clippers. This line is accurate. No edge in this game. No lean. No real interest either. Let's go to the next game. Washington at New Orleans. New Orleans favored by 4. I had New Orleans favored by 5. 1 point difference in our estimates over here. I think a lot of chasers will be looking to take the Pelicans in this game. Of course, they are the favorite, even though they have not been playing well, have been downtrending. The Wizards have been playing pretty decently lately. I think they're on a bit of a win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check this out real quick. We see Washington is on a 4-game winning streak and have climbed up to the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference standings. They will be playing without Kristaps Porzingis, and they will have Kendrick Nunn in their lineup after the trade with the Lakers and the Rui Hachimura deal. A 4-point line over here. Guys, I do expect the Pelicans at some point to break out of that losing streak. They got Brandon Ingram back. This is going to be his second game back from injury. I do believe a lot of action will be coming on the Pelicans. Washington could cover the spread, guys. We might see a narrow victory for the Pelicans. This is a very, very short line. 1 point difference here. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably go with the points, Washington and the points, but we're going to have to look at this more again tomorrow. Next game, Lakers at the Celtics, the classic Lakers-Celtics showdown at Boston Garden. Boston is favored by 7.5. I had Boston favored by 9. 1.5 point difference over here in the line. We're not used to seeing the Celtics as such short favorites against one of the lower ranked teams in the league, even though the Lakers do have a lot of star power, and they did get Anthony Davis, and they do have Rui Hachimura in their lineup now. LeBron is listed as questionable, but you know he's not going to miss this game. The Celtics are going to be playing only without Marcus Smart. They are on a 3-game losing streak. Probably the reason for this shorter line than the 9-point estimate that I had. I expect this game to be competitive. This line does show me that the Lakers do have good chances in this game. This is going to be my third lean of the night. Lakers with the plus 7.5. Next game, Dallas at Utah. Utah is favored by 8. I had Utah favored by 7. We all know Luka Doncic sprained his ankle in the previous game against the Phoenix Suns. He's not going to play in tomorrow night's game. Dallas did finish the job though in that game and did get the away win at Phoenix. Now, against the Utah, without Luka, it is going to be a very tough task. But we all know how teams tend to gather and perform well when their superstar player does miss out. And the opposing teams do tend to let down a bit. This is a tricky spot. I could see Dallas covering this plus 8 here, but this line is 1 point higher than what I had estimated. Utah is definitely the favorite. Dallas could give us a backdoor cover in this game. It's a tricky game. We'll look at it more tomorrow. And the last game of the schedule, Toronto at Portland. I had Portland favored by 5. We don't have a line yet in this game. We know Portland has a couple of key players that are on the injury report. Josh Hart and Yusuf Nurkic. They left their last game with injuries. Did not return. They're listed as questionable. 2 important players, obviously. No line in this game because the Raptors were still playing. They were their game against the Warriors just finished right now. Toronto ended up losing that game by 10 points, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. They ended up losing easily in that game. They're going to be on the second night of a back-to-back. Portland will be the favorite in this game for sure, but definitely the 2 players that I just mentioned earlier for Portland are very, very important. I don't know what this line is. We'll look at it again tomorrow. So a quick recap, guys. Very, very nice schedule. 11 games. We're going to have a lot to choose from. My early leans as of now are the Hawks with the pick, the Lakers plus 7.5, and Detroit 5.5 favorites. These are my 3 leans as of now. Obviously, this is early, guys. We will take a look at all the action again tomorrow. I think some of these games will be on early. I do believe we do have a matinee. The first game, Denver at Philly. Yes, it is on earlier than usual. And then the Knicks and the Nets will also be starting at 12:30 my local time, which is Eastern European time. So yeah, that's what we got right now, guys. This is the betting preview for tomorrow night's games. 11 games, very interesting, but we'll look at them again tomorrow. That's it, guys. Have a good rest, and more info on tomorrow's video later.